Today we're going to take a look at the most high-skilled Pokemon in Pokemon GO. It's going to be Aegislash, and we're going to talk about why. It can be a little bit confusing as well, but this Pokemon itself is super interesting. And so, let's dive into it. This is a fantastic team. I really enjoyed doing those battles. I think I played quite well as well, so definitely stay tuned for some interesting battles here. But basically, here we're going to start off against the opponent's Sandslash. We are going to be able to get out the opponent's Marowak as well, which is kind of unfortunate. And they catch the close combat against the Gels. And here, this is kind of wild. The first battle was a bit wild because the opponent played very weird. Nice just coming through here from our Pangoro. I just have to start off with the first battle real quick because it's such a weird battle. We're going to be able to go into our Doublade. We can shield up, of course, the Shadow Ball, and we're going to try to farm them down. But they still have the Marowak in the back, which is a great matchup, of course, against our Doublade and basically the rest of our team. But somehow they decide to forfeit here, and that does make no sense to me. Anyway. Why is Aegislash the most high-skilled Pokemon? Because you have the two forms. In the defensive form, in the shield form here right now, you have insane bulk. But you have an issue. You don't generate energy very fast because your Psycho Cut only generates 6 energy per usage instead of 9 energy, which makes it very slow and sluggish. And you don't have any damage output at all. It is a 0 damaging move, the Psycho Cut basically in the defensive shield form. So that is kind of interesting. But the benefit of this Pokemon is as soon as you go for a charge move, you change forms. You change forms to the attacking form, which makes you one of the biggest glass cannons possible for the Open Great League. You get so much attack, higher than any of the other Pokemon really available right now. And this applies immediately to a charge move. But after that one, if the opponent shields, you're left vulnerable. You're going to have not the defense that you had prior, and you're going to be very squishy basically with your Pokemon, which is unfortunate then for you because they do a lot of damage. But the benefit of the other form is, which you're going to see here by the way, here we're going to get a ton of energy, is that you're going to be able to then generate energy faster again with your fast move if you're in the other form. So like you have two things changing, both the defensive and your attacking stat, but also your fast move is changing, which makes it so interesting to play, and we're going to talk a little bit about it here as well. One-shotting the opponent's Corsola, one of the bulkiest Pokemon, but here we saw as well, we generate energy now faster in this form, which allows us to get to the Shadow Ball faster as well to knock out the opponent's Gastrodon. And we face off now against 3 ground types already. Yeah, ground types are quite a bit difficult for this team. This is like the only big weakness of this team, but I wanted to have Pangoro here for a big reason. Because as long as you don't phase a ground type, you're actually going to have a perfect combination of your lead as well as your backline. Your lead is going to be weak to flying, fighting, as well as fairy type Pokemon mainly, which you're all going to be able to resist with your backline. But not only this, you're also going to have the Say-Sub of Doublade, which has access to Sacred Sword. Why this is important? Because if you have a lead like a fighter here, like the Pangoro, and you have a Say-Sub that has also fighting type coverage, a lot of times, especially here for a Pokemon like the Doublade, you're gonna get out those normal type Pokemon that A are supposed to counter ghost types, but B can want to avoid your lead. And this is why I do feel like this team is absolutely fantastic. Here we're gonna get out the opponent's Apollyon, but we have the coverage that we want to have against those steel type Pokemon. And with that, we are going to have here a very positive matchup for ourselves. I can tell you already, we are going to be able to win this battle because they have 9 tails left after this one, which is going to do absolutely 0 damage against our wall, against our Aegislash. And this is why Aegislash is so cool. The type itself is fantastic. You have insane bulk, and what you see here today as well is not even the actual end form of Aegislash, because you see the IVs on the right side, mine are pretty bad. And this is something that's going to change in the next season. Again, stay tuned, by the way, for the next season. I have so much content planned. Stay tuned for that. By the way, also, this is most likely coming out after I stream today, but I'm streaming again on Twitch as well as on YouTube here at the same time. So make sure to subscribe to either Twitch or YouTube, depending on where you kind of are watching. Like those live streams there, because I'm honestly next season basically there's a lot planned also for live streaming, so definitely stay tuned for all of that. But generally speaking, next season I will change my Aegislash. I have my Doublade, which you see here already, which actually has fantastic IVs for an Aegislash because you have a lot of HP, which is more important because they already have a ton of defense in that shield form. HP is actually way more important for this Pokemon, and I will build this Pokemon unless I get a better one during the upcoming Carl's tour, where this Pokemon is going to be also released as a shiny, the Aegislash, which is going to be cool. So I'm waiting for that, but after the event for the new season, I will guarantee build a new Aegislash, fully XL, use my Rare XL candy on this Pokemon, because I'm so... I'm honestly thinking that this Pokemon is so underrated at this point still. I don't see anybody use this Pokemon, and I feel like that is just because people don't have it yet as like good IVs, because it's very difficult to get. You need to trade kind of for it in order to get good IVs, or you'll be lucky at like those Go Battle weekends. But basically, I feel like that Aegislash is one of the most underrated Pokemon in the current meta because of the play that you have. Here's how you're gonna lose. I feel like I would have maybe won this if I had better IVs. Because I would have most likely been able to go for a Shadow Ball, and I would assume a Shadow Ball would have knocked them out there. Anyway, against us, here in the lead is going to be the opponent's Scissor. I go for the Night Slash bait first, and then sub out into my Doublade. Doublade can resist the fast moves. It takes super effective damage from Night Slash though. Because I want to avoid this, I'm going to shield here, but I know that I'm going to be able to still outspeed them like this if I play it in the way that I play it. I should be able to outspeed them at least afterwards as well, and I can just play it out and win this battle. That's at least what I thought. I think actually I was thinking wrong the last time. Like, actually this time around I should have played it a little bit differently, but it doesn't really matter because the opponent is going to swap out here into the Melema. I should be able to outspeed them to at least a Night Slash, not close combat. And this is going to do some solid damage, and even if they're going to survive that, I don't really care too much. They decide, yeah, they survive with 1 HP. I can just use this as an opportunity to get energy on my Aegislash. I don't get a lot of energy, but as you see as well, even though they are debuffed, even though they are only 2 HP, because our fast move is actually like triple resisted and we do 0 damage with it, we are just able to get energy but nothing else. In comes Scissor. I'm going to try to swap out just to, yeah, snipe them down, which I can. Scissor's gone. And now it's the final Pokemon, which is a Celio. We won. Good game. Like, this is going to be it. Like, this is going to be it. It's already gone. Like, there's nothing the opponent can do anymore. We have Aegislash with a really bad IVs, and still, like, I'm not fearing anything here. Celio, okay, knock me out here. You can go for the surf here as well, but any move of mine is going to one-shot this Pokemon easily, even from this range, of course, but even if they had more health, like, Aegislash is just so broken in terms of the damage output. But like, it's honestly like, it's my favorite kind of Pokemon because it gives you more strategy to it. It's currently, as far as I know, still banned in competitive play for Show 6 Big 3, which I feel like is a big mistake because I feel like this Pokemon deserves a little bit more of a spotlight. But it is what it is. Here, we are going to go for the Night Slash against the opponent. They're sadly going to let the move go. I'm going to swap out here trying to catch the, what's called, Air Cutter? Yeah, didn't work out. But we're going to get out the opponent's ground type here. Every team has currently a ground type, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, it's either like a Stunfisk or like those Mud Steppers that we saw already previously, which is tough for this team here, of course. But still, I actually came back against a lot of really tough matchups with this team, which is fantastic as well. Like, honestly, this team was absolutely fantastic. I love the Doublade Aegislash combination. Like, as a backline, I feel like that makes a lot of sense just to play it like this. But as you see here, in comes the Stunfisk. We're going to be able to go for a Night Slash, I wanted to say, but they swap out into their Corviknight, which is alright. Air Counter's coming in. I have a ton of energy. I can go for the Night Slash spam. This is going to be my best bet. I feel like we are going to be able to swap. Okay, I don't think that was the right decision to swap out into the Aegislash, because I feel like I could have farmed them down with my Pangoro and had a better time now, because now what they're going to do. Okay, I get a ton of energy here, actually. That is not bad. I get a ton of energy. I would be able to survive a hit as well from the opponent's Stunfisk. And here I actually can go for the combo play. What do I mean with that is I wait until the clock is getting me to a point where I can go ahead and swap out after, which I can do now. It doesn't matter which one move I go for, by the way, both would knock them out. But I want to swap out here into my Pangoro, and I should be able to reach my charge move straight before them. But this is an issue. The animation of Aegislash itself denied me to get my Night Slash off against the opponent's Stunfisk when I was supposed to get it off, and their opponent was able to go there for their own charge move, but also they were able to swap in their next Pokemon. This all would have not happened in the way it happened if it was down to, how it's supposed to be happening, because if you know, if you go for a charge move, the opponent didn't go for their own charge move at the same time, you should be able to swap out afterwards directly for free and then get your move off directly with my Pokemon. I have a high attack with my Pangoro. I should have been able to get my move off before the opponent's Stunfisk got the move off. And this is changing everything. I needed to try here to get up to 2 moves. I don't know why I didn't try to even do that, but I know that the Hydro Cannon would have knocked me out in time anyway. I feel like I should have won this battle if the game would have allowed me to just play the way it's supposed to be, but the animation of the Aegislash changing its form messed up everything here. Okay, this was the fastest battle of my life. Like, honestly, by the way, Aegislash is the best anti-toxic Pokemon. Like, it is completely destroying toxic teams. It is wild. Like, generally, this entire team here is kind of anti-toxic, which is kind of funny. And here, by the way, we see something that, yeah, maybe you didn't really expect too much as well. Again, we're going to have here the Pangoro coming in. And the thing is here, I just want to have alignment. I don't want to have my own Pangoro against the opponent's Tentacruel. But there's one thing that I completely forgot about that is going to bite me here soon. We're going to have, now the matchup there, which is fine. The opponent goes on the move. Even if they have another Night Slash, I would just shield again and I would be able to align myself. And they have another Night Slash, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to keep my shield. But at the end of the day, I have alignment now. We have the same position in terms of shields, and we have alignment, and we have a steel type in the back for the opponent's poison type Pokemon. And this is all that I wanted. They have the Fearow here, and I was talking about the Fearow before. The opponent is going to be able to catch the move here onto the Tentacruel. Great job there. Should have not went straight for the move, to be fair. The opponent didn't have the energy for it, and Tentacruel would have not knocked me out. But here is basically where things, I think, go a bit sour. The opponent has the payback, which is really unfortunate for us. And I'm not going to try my best here to get as much energy as possible before I have to throw, because I know that here the damage is not really doing that much. I am going to swap out now, because I feel like I have enough health to survive the attacks from the opponent's Fearow. And I will swap out here now to my Pangoro. Pangoro is going to force him to go for the charge move kind of straight away. And now it just depends on if I get to the Gyro Ball or not. With my attack stat, Gyro Ball should knock them out. But I don't know if I don't know if there was lag involved or whatever, but it looked kind of like it while I was trying to play, that the opponent should have knocked me out there, but maybe they should have. I don't know. At the end of the day, it would have knocked them out very likely. The Gyro Ball should have done around like 86% of the opponent's health. But it is what it is. Unfortunate. But we were able to catch the move here just now. Catching the move, this Sky Attack from the opponent's Altaria is actually huge, because now we get out the opponent's what's called the opponent's Talonflame, and I just gonna go for perfect energy timing. Why? Because I know that they need one more fast move after this one to go for their own charge move. I know that one Night Slash is not going to be enough to knock them out, but I know they have two Night Slashes stored now anyway, and so I can go for another one back to back. And if they want to align themselves, or like if they want to go for another charge move here, they have to shield this move up, which they don't. And so I have now energy for the Altaria. I'm gonna try to catch the move again. This time it doesn't work, but they go into the Empoleon, and Empoleon isn't the strongest against me. The fast move is resisted. The charge move is going to do some sort of damage, but like it's not that crazy. So what we're going to see here is, we see the Hydro King coming in. I go up to 2 Shadow Balls, and now the opponent is going for another fast move here, which means I can knock them out no matter what, because I get to my next charge move in time. And here I will utilize again my other form of Aegislash. I can knock out the Empoleon, I can go for a charge move here against the opponent's Altaria, but I can now generate energy insanely fast with the Psycho Hat. You see it already, a big difference, but I'm gonna swap out now into my Pangoro, going for the Night Slashes that are stored up. The opponent is going to let the move go, but of course they don't have shield. But I'm going to be able to now take the hit from the opponent here. The Sky Attack is coming in, and now I will need a few fast moves in order to get to a move with my Aegislash, and I will be able to win the battle. There's nothing they can do anymore, and this is so fantastic. Aegislash is such a cool Pokemon. It's honestly such a fun one to run. It's currently my favorite Pokemon to run, I think, in this meta. Like, just generally, I think it's just so much fun to run. Because it's like, it's not straightforward. It's absolutely not straightforward. You have to always think, okay, which form is better for me right now? When should I go for my charge move? How many hits can I take? And again, we're currently looking at a very bad IV Aegislash. Like, it's a really, really bad IV Aegislash. And this is something that I kind of want to highlight there as well. This Pokemon is going to be way, way stronger if you have good IVs on it. I'm just going to take a look here real quick on the side on how the rank 1, which is 0, 12, 14 apparently, which I don't have, of course, but it's still kind of close what I have here, how this is functioning against the one that we currently have. We have 15, 13, 13, which generally speaking isn't even XL by any means, and it has around 200 less bulk points, which is around a bit like 15% less bulk, and you lose around 4 more matchups in the one shield scenario, and you're going to lose around 4 more matchups in all the other shield scenarios as well. But like generally speaking, by the way, as well, something that you have to kind of understand, Aegislash is best as a Pokemon in the zero shield scenario. For example, rank 1 Aegislash wins 35 in the zero shields and loses only 7. Mine is having 27 and loses 15, which is kind of unfortunate. It's just the IVs and how important they are actually in this kind of case, because they're so different. But basically, Aegislash is really only good in the in the zero shield scenario, and this is why we have Pokemon like the Pangoro on the lead to force shields early in order to set this Pokemon up. Sure, Mosaic said in the beginning of the video, good job me, but like here for example, the opponent has 2 shields left. That is really bad for us. This is not what we want to see. That doesn't mean that we're going to lose here though, because what we have still is the Pangoro, and Pangoro is going to have energy, and Pangoro is going to have the option to just go for the Knight/spam. And with this, we are going to be able to win the final battle. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to follow for more, and I will see you then. Bye bye.